Director John Carpenter found success with his 1976 film Assault on Precinct 13. That film's producer, Yerwin Blons, approached Carpenter and asked him to write and direct a horror film. Carpenter agreed and brought on Deborah Hill to co-write the script and produce the movie. It was initially called The Babysitter Murders, focusing on a killer stalking babysitters. Yablans had the idea to set the entire movie on one day, October 31st. The film found financing and distribution from Mustafa Akkad and his company, Trancas International Pictures. Akkad agreed thanks to the film's proposed budget of $300,000, which was low even in 1978. An additional $25,000 was added when Donald Pleasence was cast as Dr. Sam Loomis. Halloween premiered on October 25, 1978. The story begins with 6-year-old Michael Myers murdering his older sister Judith. 15 years later, he escapes from a mental institution and returns to his hometown, Haddonfield. He targets Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, and her friends while Dr. Loomis pursues the escaped killer. Halloween is a tough movie to review because it's a classic and so many people have talked about it before. It's hard to know what to say, especially since so much of what makes Halloween work is its simplicity. This is not an incredibly complex film. Carpenter's goal was to create a fun haunted house experience. Halloween stands apart from a lot of other films in the 70s in that it isn't mean-spirited. A lot of films made in the 70s, especially the early 70s, had a very cynical bent to them. Understandably so, but Halloween is fun. It can be intense and creepy, but it's thrilling and exciting, like a haunted house. Technical craft is also incredibly important in this case. So much of what makes Halloween work is the cinematography by Dean Cundey. This movie might be my favorite work of cinematography. The color scheme was apparently inspired by Chinatown with orange for day and blue for night. And those are appropriate for the film's fall setting. Although the recent 4K transfers have lost a lot of the daytime color, looking a little flat to me. Halloween was one of the first movies to use a Panaglide, allowing for long takes and great tracking shots. I love this kind of stuff for horror. Long tracking shots, I think, are really effective in creating a mood that's appropriate for the genre. Also, it just looks great. I'll sometimes watch the movie just to look at it. The music, composed by Carpenter, also adds a lot. The main theme is iconic and legendary. It perfectly sets the mood and is one of the greatest movie themes ever. The entire score is quite good, always perfect for the mood and effective at setting tension. To switch over to characters, Laurie has obviously become an icon. Hill wrote most of the dialogue for Laurie and her friends, and they're all believable. These three feel like real girls. Laurie is pretty quickly relatable and fun. It's an easy character to root for. And Curtis's performance only cements that. She's charismatic and engaging to watch on screen, even when she's doing everyday stuff and not facing down a psycho killer. Michael is sort of the opposite. There is nothing relatable about him. By design, there isn't a person there. He is a force of nature, pure evil in the shape of a man. It's so effectively creepy. The expressionless mask, the way he moves, everything about him is so inhuman, and it makes for a terrific villain. Dr. Loomis is the movie's Van Helsing, which is probably why Carpenter wanted Peter Cushing or Christopher Lee for the role. He is the one that understands the evil and, presumably, the only one that can stop it. His main purpose to the film is to convey Michael's potential danger. This is not a big-budget movie. Michael can't be dropping bodies every 5 minutes. So how do you keep the audience engaged and build tension? Loomis is the tool to do this. Some might argue that it breaks the show-don't-tell rule, but I think it's a wonderful way to build suspense. Loomis lets the audience in on it. To use Alfred Hitchcock's example of suspense, Loomis lets the audience know that there is a bomb under the table. A bomb that the lead characters know nothing about. A bomb that could go off at any moment. Donald Pleasence is great in the role, giving the character a pained weight. Loomis is someone whose sole purpose in life is to contain this evil. And his big monologues about Michael are very well written. Halloween grossed somewhere around $70 million worldwide, making it one of the highest-grossing independent films ever made. For a time, it was the highest-grossing independent movie. The critical response was initially somewhat negative, but very quickly turned around to positive, and the film garnered a reputation of being a horror classic. This is one of my favorite movies. I think it is excellent all around. The movie is simple but effective, and the talented people behind and in front of the camera make it shine. I think everything about it works, and I love it.